For today's cup of coffee, this one is specifically for those of you out there that are gamers. This is a what the fuck file.
What is it?
This comes from Daily Mail, not December yet, November the 8th of 2022, and it's by Jonathan Chadwick. The founder of Meta's Oculus platform might have trouble finding volunteers to try his latest creation, a VR headset he claims can kill you.
What?
Yeah.
Now, who's creating this?
Well, I'm getting to that.
Is that the head of Meta?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now what the fuck he doesn't even know how to fucking create metaverse. VR chat has him beat by years. They just implemented legs into metaverse, and he thinks...
No, we're not talking about Zuckerberg. This is somebody else.
But that's what I just asked.
Well, you didn't specify. Listen, Nerve Gear, created by 30-year-old Oculus founder Palmer Luckey, instantly destroys the brain of the user when they die in a virtual game. See...
Why would you want that? What's the point?
That's why this is a what the fuck file. So what it is that Meta, who is Zuckerberg, and it was like Lucky is the one who created Oculus.
Yeah.
So Meta sort of took that over and everything. I hope they got paid lots. It looks like a normal headset apart from the 3 terrifying explosive charge modules that are pointed at the user's skull. When the user dies virtually during gameplay, the modules fire at their head, killing them instantly at the same time. Lucky admitted the device is not quite finished, and it's likely he'll have trouble getting clearance to use it even when it is.
No shit.
Lucky, who sold his firm Oculus to Meta for $3 billion in 2014, at the age of 21, described the incredible device in a blog post. He says, quote, "The idea of tying your real life to your virtual avatar has always fascinated me. You instantly raise the stakes to the maximum level and force people to fundamentally rethink how they interact with the virtual world and the players inside it. Pumped up graphics might make a game look more real, but only the threat of serious consequences can make a game feel real to you and every other person in the game.
Bullshit. This
is an area of video game mechanics that has never been explored, despite the long history of real world sports revolving around similar stakes," end quote.
It's not a fucking video game then. It's not a video game if there's actual fucking consequences to it.
The device was inspired by Sword Art Online, an anime series featuring a VR game of the same name, accessible with a helmet called Nerve Gear, which stimulates the user's 5 senses via their brain. In the series, players can experience and control their in-game characters with their minds while wearing Nerve Gear. But when 10,000 players log into the game online for the first time, they discover that they are unable to log out and that removing their helmet would be fatal. And again, that was the game that it was based on. It was the book that was based on. Lucky explains.
Now, why would he want to create that?
Well, like I said, it was based on this story. Lucky explains gamers were trapped by a mad scientist inside a death game that can only be escaped through completion. If their hit points dropped to 0, their brain would be bombarded by extraordinarily powerful microwaves, supposedly killing the user. The same would happen if anyone in the real world tampered with their Nerve Gear, the virtual reality head-mounted display. End quote. In the game, Nerve Gear contained a microwave emitter that could be overdriven to lethal levels, but Lucky had used an alternative. Explosive charge modules. These are tied to a sensor that can detect light, including when the screen flashes red at a specific frequency to indicate virtual death. Lucky says, quote, when an appropriate game over screen is displayed, the charges fire, instantly destroying the brain of the user, end quote. Lucky,
blowing their head off, basically. That's what he's saying. It's gonna basically blow their head off.
Lucky, who has an estimated...
It's a saw trap.
Who has an estimated net worth of $1.4 billion. And I'm looking, it's like, okay, he got paid $3 billion, so he already reduced it to $1.4 billion, claims the device is still in development, as he has so far only figured out the half that kills you. He says, quote, the perfect VR half of the equation is still many years out, end quote.
Good.
What do you think that he's telling the truth on that, for real? Lucky also called Nerve Gear a piece of office art. He added that it's a thought-provoking reminder of unexplored avenues in game design.
It's unexplored for a reason?
It is also, as far as he knows, the first non-fiction example of a VR device that can actually kill the user. He says it won't be the last.
Well, guess what? Nobody's going to buy it.
Lucky, a video game enthusiast and now owner of a defense contractor, Ardurl Industries, began Oculus when he was 15, working on prototypes in his parents' garage. Now owner of defense contractor. Yeah. He started developing head-mounted VR displays when he was still in school and was in college when he created the first prototype of a consumer-priced VR headset called the Oculus Rift, although he eventually left to work on a full-time project. Lucky left Meta, then known as Facebook, back in 2017,
Still known as Facebook.
3 years after Oculus was taken over by Zuckerberg's company. The young entrepreneur later told CNBC he got fired from Facebook for no reason at all, although he said the fact he gave $10,000 to a pro-Trump group might have had something to do with it. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can't have wrong think with some of these people. But yeah, this is definitely a what the fuck file. And to think that somebody would sit around and think up something like that.
And actually make it.
And actually make it is exactly right. I'm glad you said that. Because had it been, that's like something that Junji Ito would do.
Well, no, he wouldn't have done that. His is more biological horror.
Well, I think that explosive charges, you know, sort of destroying somebody's brain is pretty biological horror on that too.
No, it isn't.
Is it not?
No, there's an outer force to that.
But I think you're right as far as it being very much like Saw.
That's what it is. This is a thing of Squid Games. Mm-hmm. This is a thing of Saw.
I thought. That's what I thought. I saw, you know, the Squid Game thing.
Like, this ain't cool.
That ain't cool at all. I mean,
nobody's gonna. Literally, everybody's gonna be up in arms and literally.
There will be people that will do that. These will be young people, again, with that frontal lobe shrinkage that have not, you know, don't have the ability to think things through all the way.
Until people's heads get blown off.
Yeah. These people that play Russian roulette.
Those people just want to die.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Or they're forced.
And maybe at first it would be one of those that they're like, well, it's really not going to do this until it really does do that.
Yeah. The only way someone would willingly put one of those on is if they actually want to die.
Right.
Or if they are completely tricked into wearing one of those.
I don't know. I think that there are some people that are so confident with their gaming abilities that they don't believe that they could fail.
Until they do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't risk it.
Right. Right. And you think, oh, this is stupid. Nobody would dare try this. Do you remember when they had the game? And I think that they still do have it. It was like electric shocks. I don't remember what you're supposed to do. Put your hand on it or whatever it was. They sold it in Spencer's.
That you held onto it and like it shocked you. Yeah, but that's different. That's non-lethal, and it wasn't really. It just hurt. It just hurt.
Oh, it's non-lethal.
Yeah, there was also this thing called a shock ball that you threw around. It had a timer on it, and it was basically an electric game of hot potato.
Right. Well, dude is just taking it to the next level, I guess.
He just wants to kill people. That's what it is.
And I would say that there is quite a bit of sadism, somewhere in his brain.
Yeah.
Maybe his brain has already been destroyed, and that's why he's trying to think up maniacal things. Somebody who has that amount of intelligence and skill that they could develop these VR headsets and stuff, and that's what they want to do with their abilities?
Yeah, no, as far as that, take those abilities away from them.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. No, that's a no.
But the thing is, that when somebody has heard about this, somebody else is going to be working on developing it. And even if it never goes to market, that's going to be something that's sold on the deep web or someplace like that. It will happen.
Somehow it will be used.
And somebody will figure out how to make it look like just a regular VR headset.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is horrifying.
Yeah.
Now, I have a lot of misgivings about VR. I think that people could get lost in that world easily.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
Especially if people are having trouble with what we think of as the real world. I can see that just tipping them over.
Yeah. Especially if it was like real life graphics. I mean, the graphics aren't even that good on a lot of the VR games.
I just tried it once because, where your brother has one of the headsets.
Well, at least the main ones. Like, now, for example, Resident Evil, I don't remember which one that is. But it's the one where you're in the house, and it has a VR option. Now, that one's freaky. That one does. The house can look real. Yeah.
Because you've got to realize how we perceive reality is through our senses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was the whole thing of what was the movie called Avatar, that they were in this bodysuit in this other place.
Yeah. Yeah, it was something like that, I think.
So if you're in something
The Matrix
that gives you the ability to have all your senses, do you remember who and what you were or are?
Yeah, no.
We don't know that we've done that on a regular basis. There's questions. Are we who we think we are as humans?
Fuck that.
I go down these rabbit holes. I do. And sometimes I get kind of lost for a few days.
I try not to, because it just mind fucks me.
It does. It can, a lot of people.
The human brain ain't meant to ponder this
Not
shit.
everything. It is not meant to ponder everything. And some of the people who do ponder this have lost their minds.
Yes.
I know that there was a gentleman who had studied as far as the capacity for kindness of humans, this altruism. And he had this mathematical formula that went with it. I don't know. This was years ago. And so he found out somehow in his mind, people were only kind, not just to be kind, but because that it benefited them somehow. And I think the man eventually committed suicide because he went down a really dark place, and that was actually ultimately not true. Because there are plenty of people that do things because they are kind. just to do, it has no benefit for them.
Right.
It's just because it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, the VR stuff, now I did enjoy it's like you were looking at the, planetarium. That one, did you not see that one? He's got it, it's like you're sitting there in an observatory and stuff.
No.
Now, that was pretty cool, and if you moved your head, it gave you a different scene.
No, I really have not messed with their Oculus that much.
That was pretty cool to sit there and go, oh, okay, this is cool.
As far as my Oculus, I can't see in it. I can't see in it without my glasses.
Right. So that's an advantage for you.
Yeah.
Where I have, I see differently, physically and otherwise. That's just like 3D glasses. It doesn't work for me.
I can't put those on. Yeah. I can't put those on either because, they don't go over my glasses.
Right.
I'll have to wear contacts or something.
It's not worth it. I mean, it's interesting for a while, but... So, people who wear glasses out there, this may save them from some of these things. But it's just crazy. But you're right. Some things people need to just leave it the fuck alone. Have some sense.
Some things just do not need to be in existence. And I think that we are going too far as a species.
I think that we are trying to lose ourselves as a species.
Exactly. And we need to take a step back.
Yeah.
But to take that step back, that means a massive reset needs to happen.
Yeah, I think it's beginning. There are those who do not want humans, that they want to improve on God's design.
Which is just
never works
preposterous.
Well, you've got this transhumanist movement. Elon Musk wanting to, chip people's brains. And he's saying that it is for a good cause. I get that. I mean, what a blessing that would be for somebody who is, quadriplegic or paraplegic or anything to be able to walk again. I get that. I applaud that.
Yeah, but they could hack into that chip and
it's going to be used for another purpose.
Yeah.
Cyborgs doing this, I don't want to be a Borg. I do not want to be assimilated.
No.
He's not the only one. There's lots of rumors as far as people having nanobots in them now that are building these crystalline structures. I wish this was something I had read. But there are people that actually have evidence of this. That's scary.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
It's if you're aware of it, then you can avoid it. And it's one of those that ignorance is not always blissful. Sometimes ignorance can get you hurt. Yeah. But I think before you get totally bummed out, instead of the Squid Games, and I'm sure somebody has already done this, we need the Squidward games. We do.
What would those entail?
What would the Squidward games entail?
Torture porn of him? Because that's just the show.
I mean,
in the most recent seasons. That poor guy.
God love him. No, it would be
originally he deserved it. Originally he did deserve it, and he deserved every bit of it. But now, no, he's just a punching bag.
That's not cool. Whoever, I mean, they should let that series end. That's another one that they've ruined it.
Yeah, it was supposed to end at the movie.
Yeah. But no, it's like if you lose, you have to listen to him play the clarinet. That would be bad.
I'd do that.
That would be bad. But something silly.
Yeah. There's a theory that SpongeBob and Patrick are the reasons that he can no longer play the clarinet good. Because remember that episode where the giant bubble took out,
yes.
engulfed his house? There's a theory that when that bubble popped, it ruined, like, it busted his eardrums, and that's why he can't play anymore. Because originally in the episode, he was playing perfectly fine.
No, what happened was the reason he was playing perfectly fine, he wasn't playing perfectly fine at first. And then when he thought that he had thwarted them, then he was playing well because he was even more full of himself. But no, that theory does not hold water. But so that no.
It's just a fucking theory.
Who sits around and thinks these things up?
It's people like you who sit there and ponder shit.
I wouldn't have pondered that, and if I had pondered it, I don't know that I would share it.
You can come up with the most.
Well, that's true.
Don't tell me. Yeah, exactly. So don't tell me that shit.
I've mellowed as I've gotten older.
Have you?
Yes. Yes, I've learned that some things do not need to be shared. I am so grateful that the internet was not a thing when I was younger.
Imagine the shit that you would have created.
Oh, that's just like,
Imagine the shit you would have created
I'd have probably
in art school. Like, imagine the shit that you would have posted.
It's like Joe Schmo and I have talked many times. If we had gone to college together, it would have been epic.
Hell would have been.
It would have been epicness. And I told him, I said, we would have been calling people going, put money on my books. Put money on the phone for me. But it would have been epic. It would have.
It's funny.
But even then, I wasn't malevolent. I was towards myself. But anyhow, as far as hurting other people, no. That was never my intention ever.
Right.
But you've got people, well, I guess you've always had people that, I don't know if it's a power trip, if it is just that if they want to see if they can do it. I mean, my God, we've got people that we need to have Nuremberg 2.0. That is a needed thing. That's just evil.
Yeah.
And if people's like, why are they doing What the Fuck Files? Because this is evil.
Yeah. I mean, What the Fuck Files, like, most of the time the What the Fuck Files are just there to make you go, what the fuck? But this one is just like, damn. This is just fucked up.
Yeah, it is. To take something that people enjoy, that some people, can relax. Yeah. To do things, it's a catharsis. It's like, what is it, Grand Theft Auto? You can't really do that shit in real life, but you can do that in a game and get it out of your system.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the little match 3 games I deal with my ADHD when I'm trying to listen to 12 hours of Leo King. That's what I do with that.
If you wanted to mindfuck yourself, lucid dream and then go up to a person and be like, this is a dream, or ask the time.
Okay.
Now that will fuck up your dream and you will be booted out immediately. Now that's...
yeah. At least I don't have night terrors much anymore. When I was a kid, that was something. So no, I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
People get pissed off in dreams. Like, for real, if you wake up and if you're in the dream and you come to the conclusion, oh shit, I'm dreaming, and there's people around you and they know that you're dreaming, oh, they get pissed. And if you ask them what time it is, they get pissed.
That's weird.
Yeah.
See, you go.
And they're like, you can't. Like, seriously, so this one person literally, they were. So it was this person, whatever, and literally they went like this. They bonked him on her forehead or whatever to wake her up. She was just sent back to the dream room or whatever. It was like a waiting room type area, whatever. It was like a dream shopping center type dealio, whatever the fuck. It was where other dreams were, where you could be sent to other dreams.
Well, that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. But other people were like, "You're not supposed to be here," and they were trying to wake her up, and she's like, "Is there like a place that y'all don't have to interact with me?" And the reason that you can't be there when you know it's a dream is because it can attract negative entities.
Oh, okay.
So, like, nightmares.
Yeah. No, I don't
And,
know
like,
what
she
that is.
looked down, and whatever it was, she shook it off. Or I think one of them stomped it or something, or like that. And the person was like, that's why.
Auric field parasites.
Mm-hmm.
Most people have auric field parasites.
Yeah, it attracts them to them. That's why, like...
And to tell
That's why you cannot be conscious when you're in the dream world,
Well,
because you gotta be bonked out.
in our
or else
world,
it fucks
which-
shit up.
in our world, which we think is reality, and it was something, I can't remember who it was. It wasn't that long ago that I heard somebody to sit there, and any of these entities to sit there and go, you were not invited.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I've been practicing that quite frequently. But
Yeah, that's like go down these weird rabbit holes.
See,
And that's what
you
the
do
that's what the
it.
dreams are. They are different worlds.
you do it as much as I do. It's just in a different form, and you don't see it within yourself.
I don't see it because it's stuff that's fun and it's not that serious. This ain't that serious. It doesn't affect me emotionally.
And this about dude developing a, video game, a VR headset game that will kill you, that it distresses you emotionally.
No. What? Oh, a VR headset that can blow your head off. Oh, that wouldn't distress anyone before. That wouldn't distress anyone.
I mean, there's lots
you
of
cannot
things.
tell me that wouldn't distress you,
There's
though.
lots of things.
Does that not distress you?
The point that he was saying is that there are games that people play where people do get injured severely.
That stuff does not need to exist.
You're talking about a lot of sports that people enjoy. Some of those sports, yes, they can massively get injured. Yeah.
Like, no, I'm talking about the fucking VR headset. That does not need to be.
I know, I understand. But that was what he was correlating it to.
That's not even remotely the same.
Well, in his world, apparently it is.
Bullshit.
That's what it said.
Do not bring in reality into fantasy. Do not bring reality into fantasy, period.
Well, I agree with you. I think that it needs to be that distinction. And the people that do play sports...
Fantasy is an escape for a reason.
The people that do play sports, they are aware that these are the risks.
Yes.
I mean, it's like people that bungee jump and stuff like that. And it's like... Because I have read stories recently of the rope snapping, which is horrifying.
Yeah, there's been many cases of
But
that
now,
happening.
let's face it, when you've got a rubber band and you're jumping off a high point, shit can happen.
Skydivers.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and
We ain't supposed to be doing this shit.
Right. And so I always was one of these, it's like, no, it's just foolish. Foolish. But for some people, they think it's exhilarating. Being me, if you want exhilaration, go out and feed the hungry.
Because you know why? It puts you in a fucking state of shock.
I think so. Yeah. It's that adrenaline rush, but you can get
Yes.
that adrenaline rush otherwise. So that is
I'll play a horror game.
Okay.
I'll get that adrenaline rush through a horror game that I can sit home safely
Yeah.
and turn off anytime that I want to.
Right. And that you do have that, distinction between reality and fantasy. And, you wonder, because that there are people that have certain mental illnesses and stuff, which I am still not convinced that it's not some kind of spiritual something going on, because what's the difference? That they really do have a hard time distinguishing what reality is, and God love them.
Yeah.
I don't think our society understands how to help people like that. In other cultures, a lot of times these people they understand that they're called to be shamans. That's for real. Well, that is true. Do you have any final thoughts on this?
I gave mine.
You done?
I'm done.
You're done. Okay. If you've had experiences with paranormal, supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, if you're a gamer and you would like to comment about this stuff rant through an email.
That's going to be I hope that it would be immediately outlawed.
Oh, the idea is out there, so somebody somewhere will create it. Email address is cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com, and the link will be in the description box. Let us pray one for another.
If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all, and have a good...
Know that you're loved.
Yes.
Don't do stupid shit.
Don't let this motherfucker create this thing.
Well, like I said, you can't stop him from creating it for real. But as far as anybody who would dare use something like that, sit and talk to them and tell them that their life is worth living. Yeah. Do that also if you see somebody's got a needle in their arm. You are loved, and we'll see you on the next cup.
Bye.
Bye.